welcome back.
I'm Adam.
I'm Brett.
And we are
the WALTWINS.
If this is your first time here with us, though,
Welcome.
Consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything we do, no matter where we're doing it. Today we happen to be at Brett's Backyard Bistro.
Yes, the Brickyard.
The
Bistro.
Brickyard. What did I say?
Brickyard.
Brett's Brickyard
Backyard.
Bistro.
Backyard, yes.
Oh, I threw in my backyard. Okay.
Yep. Triple B, where Brett is the mayor of Savertown. That's right.
It is nighttime here, but we're here because we wanted to really jump on this and kind of have a little chit-chat.
Yes.
A chit-chat. Just kind of explain or talk about some of the things that we've learned along the way and whether or not we feel like the Pit Boss Sierra and the Pit Boss Ultimate Griddles are ultimately worth getting.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, we are going to, give our final thoughts at the end. We figured we would just start knocking off some, whether it's questions that we've had, whether it's questions we had ourselves or people maybe that you've had, but things that we have learned along the way. Adam, let's just jump right into it. First of all, let's talk about the ceramic cooktop.
Yes, the ceramic cooktop is phenomenal. It is a dream to work with.
Yes.
And we'll get into some of the reasons why we had some major reluctance because it was ceramic cooktop. We early on did a Facebook interview live with Barbecue by Maisie. She was incredible and reaching out to us kind of as the griddle experts, I guess.
Yeah.
And some of her reluctance were also our reluctances.
I think it's reluctancy.
Relucti.
Wow, yeah, that just happened.
But with the ceramic, how durable was it going to be? Obviously, Pit Boss and their R&D department has put this through the ringer, gave us the chance to do the same, and I gotta tell you, it's been phenomenal. And we'll get to some of those reasons here in just a minute.
Yeah, and the R&D department, shout out to them at Pit Boss. They know a thing or two. They know what they're doing. The biggest thing, and we're gonna kick it right off, is the no fuss cleanup. This thing is absolutely a cinch. We're so many cooks in. We're getting close to 100. We're on, the north side of 100.
75.
We're on the north side of 100, north side of 50 of cooks, and this thing is still amazing to clean up. Yes, we have done some deep cleanup, deep cleans, which we'll talk about, and we've done recently. But the fact that you can literally cook, wipe down, and enjoy your food with everyone else without having to treat this has been one of the top things that we absolutely love about
And it seems it's one of the few things that quite often after our cooks or during some of the B-roll footage of our cooks, I throw in the cleanup because it's so quick and it looks so nice right now.
It looks so good on video.
In fact,
it looks good in real life too.
Some of the Facebook groups, the funny thing is that we're part of the Pit Boss Griddle community is people will take pictures of their cooks and then the cleanup after how new the griddle looks because it's phenomenal.
Now the next thing we want to talk about is the heat of this thing, and can you get a proper sear, Adam?
Yes, this thing cooks really hot. I think one thing we used to always say about the Blackstone, man, mine cooks ridiculously hot. It just must be griddle cooking in general because these griddles also, and I'm talking
hot.
both the Sierra and my 5-burner. They
over
both
600 degrees,
and it almost
or
makes
about
it
600,
more, right. It makes it more fun to kind of figure, okay, which dials or knobs are you turning off? Because it's about controlling the cook, like we always say. That's why we say low and slow. We always start low or medium low, and then we bring up the temp from there. And sometimes we kill knobs when we need to, cooking zones when we need to, because these do get so hot. And it's something we control and we watch, but man.
All right, next up, the utensils,
Yes.
the tools that we use.
Yes, I would say that the tools at first were a little bit of a change because we were so used to the metal and never having to worry about it to now being very careful. That said, we didn't have to be as careful as we first were thinking we had to be. The verdict is still out whether or not you can use metal. I know some at Pit Boss have said yes, they put them through the ringer and you can. Others have said not. We're not going to share our professional opinion to use metal just yet. We've tried them out. They're great. It actually works phenomenal.
We haven't had any issues, but again, we're not going to
promote
it or use it, and then have someone use it and be like, man, the WALTWINS said they could use it, and now this is all ruined. So that is still waiting. I would say ... on that.
Right.
We are still testing it along with advice and word that we're getting from other griddlers and Pit Boss. We don't want to steer you wrong, and we will not do that to the best of our ability. So aside from metal, worst case scenario, you can never use it. That is quite all right. From the silicone and the high temp nylon, and then Pit Boss has some too, Adam.
Right. In fact, I've been using them, and I was supposed to bring them this weekend and did not bring them, thinking Brett had his. So I failed to bring the Pit Boss utensils.
You sure did.
You can see them here.
You sure
they
did.
are incredible. Now, one thing with the nylon in general is they are a little bit, because they're heat resistant, not heat reflectant. not heat, not
proof.
Not Hebrew. Thank you. That's the difference.
Yeah.
What it is. They are susceptible to kind of scorching at the end, or people say melting, and they actually kind of pill a little bit, as most nylon items do. So we've had some issues with that, although ours have worked out phenomenally. We're also very careful when we're working with them on the heat. The silicone doesn't matter the heat; they take it all. We love the silicone squeegee that we call it a squeegee, little scraper that we use, the big silicone scraper we use, and also wooden utensils have proven to be a blast to use on these. We love those as well. And
Next up, the food, and does it taste any different? Honestly,
it does.
It does not taste
at
any
all.
different.
And that has probably been our biggest takeaway. And I used ceramic cookware for many years indoors. I also used the ceramic griddle inside. And I used to say, this is what I cut my teeth on griddle cooking on. And cooking outdoors and then using a Blackstone or another cold rolled steel, people say, hey, is the taste different? Is it any different from the cold rolled steel versus the stainless steel versus the ceramic? The food absolutely tastes the same. Everything from our fried rice to our smash burgers. In fact, the smash burgers was the first thing I was concerned. Am I first of all going to be able to get the bioreaction?
Yes.
And then also, was it going to taste just the same? Yes. So the food is absolutely phenomenal. No matter what we've cooked on this, it has no longer been about, is this just as good? Everything. In fact, today, if I may chime in, I was able to cook for my faculty and staff. It's the last work day officially before my summer break. Yay! As a teacher, and I took the Sierra Griddle down and I cooked for my staff. I didn't take any video, but I do have a couple pictures. We cooked a ton of food, some 100+ items on here, from hot dogs to burgers to plant-based burgers to brats. And the food was fantastic. Nothing but positive feedback from it, but it just withstood and held up and cooked exactly like any other time I've cooked. And so absolutely the food holds up.
Yep. Okay, well, so
the
now
food tastes the same.
And then you actually bring us up to our next point. Does the food hold up? How about sticking? I want to talk about this because one thing that people will gripe about is like, man, it says non-stick. I got this a couple cooks in, man, it's stuck. Adam, explain. Yes, it will happen, but don't fret.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
And I would say this not only with the Pit Boss, but any non-stick cookware in general. Non-stick is probably the wrong term to use. The ceramic cookware makes it less susceptible to sticking. Sticking will still occur, especially if you're using a protein like a chicken or a steak that is going to sear. And really, when it sears, part of that is sticking to that so it can burn on there.
Yeah.
A big lesson we learned from our friend Wade Williams, sometimes just trust that the meat will release when it's ready.
It will.
And the other thing is using those scrapers to your advantage to really kind of scrape that up, and then the cleanup process is easier. You will get some sticking. In fact, we had some sticking with some eggs early on. I remember I was frustrated because I
may or may not have lost his marbles for a minute.
I don't lose my marbles ever. They're always found.
They're always
Every
right
single
there,
one of them.
tight in his pocket.
But we were cooking eggs and they started to stick. But it took a little bit of just lowering the heat a little bit and using a little bit more butter.
Yep.
And they were perfect. And also the deep clean process always helps with that. If you do find your food starts to stick, do a clean, either like what Brett does after every cook, which is a hot water soap and scrub, which takes maybe a minute or two.
Yeah, so basically when we're done with the cook, once it gets cool enough that I can actually put it down, I like to grab one of these. These pads come from Pit Boss. I put it in.
It's like a scouring pad, like the backside of your sponge.
Yep, exactly. And I put it in a bowl with warm soapy water, and it's still warm on the surface. I just dunk it in there, and I do a quick scrub. Just imagine it like it's a non-stick pan that you're washing in the sink when you're done with the cook, and then you hang it out to dry. I'll just take paper towels, wipe it down. Once it's cool, put a little slather of a light thin coat of oil just to protect it while it sits outside.
And Brett, what if you're like me though and you don't want no scrub?
Then you can just not worry about him hanging out on the outside of your passenger ride, of your best friend's ride. And
trying to holler at me?
Trying to holler at me.
Regardless, let's move on. That was a horrid joke,
terrible.
and you kept running with it.
Yeah,
but
I kept trying to remember the words. We just have a few more things that we want to talk about before we let you go. But one thing that
Thanks for watching this
has actually come up even recently is people being hesitant to put a pot or pan on the surface of this because, again, people are afraid to put metal on this or anything like this. We have the basic resting on that. You felt it hit and scrap. It could sound like it scratched. We're not worried about that at all. In fact, when I just recently did the beer brats, I did the beer cheese sauce on the surface. I did it right here. And I even was able to pick it up and move it. I slid it a little bit, and I wasn't worried about scratching. There's no scratching. So yes, you can put pots and pans on this. Again, just be careful when you do. All right, so one last thing that I want to mention before we wrap this up, unless there's anything you also want to mention, Adam.
Oh, I do.
One thing I'm really looking forward to is I live in a college town, and SEC Nation is where I'm at in SEC. I live near the University of Florida, so
Neil, Flat Top King. You hear that?
Yes, we're gonna have some Florida-Tennessee weekend. We will be in chats. Maybe a little friendly competition we'll have going on that weekend. But that aside, I'm so excited to take this thing tailgating. The Sierra, the 3, the 4, and the 2, the 3, and the 4 burners all have the lift-off feature, so you can throw it in the back of your vehicle, a truck. Whether you want to take it camping, tailgating, you want to just take it to a function, you can do that. It's absolutely portable, and so this thing is going to be cooking maybe on Tennessee weekend. Just saying.
Right. It's a large surface for griddling that you can take with you, and the lift out. You take the plate out, set it aside. It's really easy to move and transport, so it is phenomenal. So aside from the lift off feature, aside from the no fuss cleanup and cook, and the food. Absolutely amazing.
That's the most important part, by the way. Let's not get confused.
Right.
Let's not get caught in the weeds.
It gets hot. You can use some metal pots and pans. All the things that we love about this, they're all here. And everything else, they have, I would say, award-winning customer service. You will not be taken care of better by any other company.
And a 2-year warranty, by the way.
Yes, 2-year warranty on the surface. So the
Yep.
griddle got 70, 75 cooks on it.
Yeah.
I would say for most people, that might be 2 years worth, and it's still
Or a lifetime.
brand new. So,
Yes,
who knows? But regardless, man, we could go on and on. Here's our pitch to you. If you have a question or concern, put it in the comments below. We promise we will do our very best to answer them. Our favorite thing about working with Pit Boss is they've given us the go-ahead to be completely honest, to be transparent if there are any problems or issues, because not only can we share that with you, but they like that feedback,
Yeah,
so their
we
R&D
should.
department can fix anything.
Exactly.
So we get to be as open and honest as we like, which is another reason we love working with Pit Boss on these new griddles. And for that reason, they've been very transparent about be as open and honest. It also tells you how much they care and know how good their product is.
And if it needs to be improved, they want to do it.
Right.
And so that is it. So
Put those comments, put
yes,
the questions
let us
below,
know.
any things that you have, any reluctances, or even just thoughts, please share them with us below. Also, if you did like this video, make sure you give this a thumbs up. We really do appreciate it. It's one way in which you can support us and what we do. We also do have a merchandise store. The link to that is in the description below this video. Another way to support us. Yeah. Our merchandise is brought to you through Digital Promotions, who works closely with Crossroads Missions. And Crossroads Missions does amazing service work. In fact, a portion of all the purchases made through the WALTWINS goes to benefit Crossroads Missions and their service. Brett, I love getting to come and do this.
Dude.
And just even talk about some of our favorite things. And these are the questions that so many people have asked. So we thought we would put this in video form. So why Pit Boss? Because it is absolutely phenomenal, and they have entered the game as a true challenger, and this griddle is phenomenal. And those that have them, you can check out the Facebook griddle community, of which we're a part.
Yeah, check it out, the Pit Boss Griddle community. Also, if you have any questions for Adam and I, we are on social media. You can find us on the WALTWINS on Facebook and Instagram. Slide
Also
into
in the comments below.
Slide into our DMs. Ask any question you want. We are here for you.
Absolutely. We love getting to come and share our passion about this. That's why we take the time to come and do this. It is nighttime. The neighbors are probably wondering. I realize we're talking so loud out here.
They know at this point.
The
We've
echo,
cooked enough.
yeah, we're a little bit in the garage here, but no biggie. But Brett, aside from coming to share our love and passion for griddle cooking and some of what we've learned along the way, why else are we doing this?
Because all we do is twin,
No matter what. And with that, we bid you adieu.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
And
griddle on!